So I'm back with another video of, well, not really, just I'm reading a story that I wrote a long time ago. I was still a freshman back then. Holy moly, that's a long time ago. Anyway, so this one is Tale of the Ice King. This is just the prologue, because I never fully finished writing it. It's still in chunks, and the prologue is the most complete, so let's just get started with this. Long ago, when gods still roamed the earth among men, Boreas, god of the north wind, fell in love with a mortal woman and had a son. When he was born, the boy caused a blizzard that froze everything around him. As he grew older, he learned to manipulate his power and moved north to be closer to his father. He created a kingdom of pure ice, and his subjects dubbed him the Ice King, for wherever he went, winter followed. Eventually, people became wary of the Ice King's rule and called him a witch that practiced dark magic. These rumors grew into a revolt, and in an act of desperation, the Ice King covered the entire kingdom and its inhabitants with an impenetrable black ice where it remains frozen to this day. What a bunch of hogwash. These aren't even remotely lifelike, a researcher noted, tapping a pillar of ice with a gloved fist. I don't know, Ben. I trust science as much as the next guy, but I wouldn't want to take chances with an almost half-millennium-old magic king, Kyle remarked, carefully avoiding the frozen figures. Carvings on the outside of the hollow glacier they were exploring were pretty explicit about the wariness one should have upon entering. Despite 380 years passing, the inscriptions were still clearly legible with warnings about the power of the Ice King. Kyle was not going to take this investigation lightly. Well, since you're being a coward, I'm going to set up camp, Ben said, putting down his pack and getting out a fire starter. Hold on, you're going to light that on the ice? Are you insane? Kyle exclaimed, despite shivering in the cold. Ben ignored his fellow researcher and lit the fire starter. The flame burned white and almost silver and did nothing to warm the space. All it served to do was spread the appearance of stark white lines in the otherwise obsidian ice. The white fractals expanded until they reached the strange formation on the far wall where pyres ignited in a flash with the same platinum flames. Both researchers stood stock still as they heard telltale sounds of ice cracking, neither daring to turn around and look at the figure that had emerged from his frozen prison. The air got colder as they heard the breath of some other person or creature that had somehow appeared. The figure glared at the intruders with disgust. "Kneel and state your purpose here, peasants," the man demanded, with the authority of a man who could kill them in an instant, with the voice of someone who hadn't quite become an adult yet. Kyle was motionless for a moment, then knelt in a panic. We're here to examine the unmelting ice here, sir. We didn't mean to disturb. Did you not understand my order, peasant? I said kneel. The Ice King's voice boomed in the chamber, echoing like a cathedral and all directed at Ben, who rolled his eyes. "And who do you think you are to tell me what to do? The Ice King? Look, this is a real nice show you're putting on, kid, but we have work to do, so keep your mythological role play at home." Ben mocked, glaring at the man before him, who couldn't be more than 18. He shared his glare. How insolent peasants have become. I was under the impression that when a king says to kneel, one was to kneel. The Ice King snarled, just as another researcher busted into the throne room exclaiming, "Guys, you have to come see this. The ice is—" Ryan never finished his sentence before screams of agony overtook him. He was frozen solid from the ground up. Kyle and Ben stared in pure horror as the Ice King turned on his heel and took a crown from its resting place on the throne, placing it upon his brow. I must be out of practice if I miss that badly. Now, peasant, I want you to tell me exactly why my kingdom is no longer outside the gates of my palace, the Ice King demanded coldly. Ben was beyond terrified. He had just seen someone he had known and worked with for almost a decade get frozen solid in a hasty rush that bruised his knees. Even through all the thermal layering he was wearing, Ben kneeled before the unfathomable horror he had managed to inconvenience. Global warming, my lord. Over the last few centuries, the burning of coal and other fossil fuels have caused the planet to become more warmer. This caused the polar ice caps too melt? Kyle stuttered, quaking in terror. Well, I suppose my absence has been a bit of a problem. Let us amend this issue. Breaking news. Polar ice caps triple in size. And that is the prologue of Tale of the Ice King. Hopefully, if this does have a comment section, and if you want to hear the completed chapter for March, you can ask for that if you want to subject yourself to it. That's all for now. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, or whatever time it is for you. Just have a good time, I guess.